neighbor. Welcome again to this neighborhood. I'd like to show you something. You know what this is? Maybe if I press this button. This is a cassette player with a... Still sounds like I have a miss.
Okay, ladies and gents, wanted to do a quick update as to where I'm at, what's going on. Everything's going pretty good. The only problem I have is I have a miss, and we're going to address that in a minute. I quickly did not have time to do any aluminum welding or teach myself, so I'm going to have my buddy do the aluminum welding for the intercooler heat exchanger. I did the tank and the water lines real quick and rough. I have to use, I'm going to get some sort of other way to mount the lines under the car. I put them with the Christmas tree zip ties someone sent me. Man, these things are BA. So I did this for now. There is a bunch of like weird screw holes and stuff in the frames of these cars. I was able to jam a bunch of these Christmas tree guys in and zip tie the hoses out of the way for now. And took it for a drive or two. I put the ice box in the trunk, so it's coming from the trunk right into the intercooler in the lid and back out. I left an extra hoop here to be able to connect to everything else. There is excess front and back. Let's reach down in here and pop the trunk and show you what I did real quick to see how everything would work out. Drilled some holes in the interior and then down in near the trans tunnel, and I used my bottle warmer wire to power this, and I have like 10 gallons of water in this system already. It's intense how much water it holds. No heat exchanger. So once everything is more finalized, this is not something I have done a lot of, so part of me like really struggled to start it, so I just did it. So I left a ton of length so I wouldn't screw myself too bad. And I bought 90-degree elbows in case I want to, like, better fit it. Which I definitely want to do that in the car. It's just laying over the seat area. The hoses are just kind of laying in there. What I'd like to do is cut them nicely and put the 90s. And this thing has, like, a straight... It's too hard to pull the carpet and get light and everything in there, but believe me, there's a giant metal structure. So what I want to do is, like, you know, make a little convex in there or a little thing where I can pass the rubber hoses through. The other thing I got is I got the silicone adapter. I threw it on the floor over there. I got the 90-degree. It's a super hard 90 silicone adapter that comes, it basically sits up against this. And that's what I'm going to have my buddy make some sort of intake that goes into the fender well to get even cooler air, because as of right now it is sucking air right off the rad. And this, if you don't know, a roots blower is a giant heat pump. All it does is make heat and jam it into the engine. So if you're eating heat and making it hotter, you're in a worst case scenario. So that is all of that. I have an awesome in-clip where I was trashing this thing, just beating it up on the street the other day and just blendering them off in gear, and it hooks up pretty good in third then, and you get to see some good acceleration. And I did like a nice race render overlay, but it was missing. You could hear it. It sounds like a Subaru. So what I did is I have spare coils, roughly the same thing. So I went around the engine, and one of my tricks is I took a Harbor Freight temp gun and temp gun the cylinders, and they're all roughly high 200s, low 300s, except for all the way back there. That guy is like 150 degrees. So I swapped the coil, I swapped the plug, I swapped the wire, I ohmed a wire, and then I'm unplugging everything and it sounds the same. I unplugged the injector, it sounds the same. Everything sounds the same. So what I need to do is check the power to the injector and then maybe try another set of injectors, or just pull that. I think I'll pull like these two injectors, mark that one, and then flow them quick at like 1320. These are prototype 160s from SEP. So I already let him know, just in case one of those is bad, and we'll look into it. We'll figure something out. We'll see if I did it or whatever. But You know, no one go nuts right away, but that's where we're at. So I think it might be an injector, but I'm not sure yet. Don't hold me to it. We have to do more research to figure that out. So I'll show you when I was beating it up. The other thing is it's still out of fuel, so it's kind of dangerous to be thrashing it, but, you know, sometimes you got to do that. Look at this. They blew this guy out, too. It's making all the boost. We stuck this on the dyno, and what I should do is just get a rubber vacuum hose quick and go from here to here. That's awesome that it blew it out. There's so much pressure out of that little metal nipple. So I'll connect this guy and then zippy tie them so it can't blow them out. Other than that, everything is doing really good. The fuel situation, I was talking about buying a booster pump, and someone hit me up and was like, I'll send you a booster pump. I haven't even used it. So I have never really used one, so I'm going to try it on this car. Because I'm only slightly out of fuel, and that's where a booster pump really comes into play very well, is when you just need a little bit more fuel. It overvolts the pump and hopefully pumps some more fluid. So we're going to give that a whirl. See how much fuel I have, fix it up. Maybe I had a slight miss, something going on there on the dyno. Maybe I'll even make more. Cautiously optimistic. I don't know, though. It sounded pretty good on the dyno, so I doubt it was misfiring then. Either way, the amount of average power this little blown 4.8 has is absurd. I could not imagine what an LS3 that makes like 650 plus horsepower and torque would be like in this car. It would be insane. Because right now, it's really cool. And one thing I'd like to bring up is one of my YouTubers, one of my commenters, was like, after he summarized this, and he was like, so you built a Nissan Cobra? And I was like, yes, I did. I did exactly that. But what a lot of people don't know is a stock Cobra only makes like 330, 350 horsepower. A full bolt-on Cobra, like long tubes, pulleyed to 20-some pounds, just spewing 300-degree inlet temps. Insanity makes like 474 horsepower max on the deal paving dyno. So that's what I'm familiar with, is totally maxed out stock blower Cobra makes like 450, 475, and that's once every 3 hours. So what's cool is this thing weighs less than one of those and makes 100 rear wheel more and has a more aggressive gear ratio because of the trans. So pretty cool. It is a Nissan Cobra. Anyway, one thing I might entertain, some people were asking, and yes, maybe, I may over the winter get like the blower lid. They sell thermo spacers. I might investigate that. They port the snout, maybe. I hear porting the blower picks up some power. I am kicking that around. I don't want to sound like a cheap ass after I just built all this, but if it's a ton of money for like 40 rear wheel, I really don't care to rip it all apart. I can't really, I don't really justify that. Also, that I'm pretty much at the limit of my fuel pump. I took the spray off for now. I think for fun, we're going to put it on my friend's Corvette and see how that goes. We can show all that. I think that would be neater because I already have more than my pump can handle, and these cars have a very tricky saddle tank setup that needs to be totally converted to return, and I feel like I can just band-aid it with a booster pump, and this thing with the blower has totally changed my mind about the car. It is tons of fun now with the blower. It's absurd, so I'm really starting to like it. It's definitely hit that turning point for me. So I'll show the clip of me smashing it out on the road and that's my update quick for it.